Everyone, welcome back. I'm Adam Johnson, and this is the NFA Review channel. Today we're going to be reviewing the Dead Air Nomad 30. I know this suppressor's been out for quite a while. I finally just got my hand on one of them, and we're going to give it the full rundown you guys have come to expect here on the NFA Review channel. So, full rundown specs here in the studio, and then we're going to see how it performs out on the range with an array of different hosts. Before we get to that, just wanted to give a huge shout out and thank you to my channel sponsors and my patrons on Patreon. The new tier setup has been working extremely well. You guys have sent me hundreds of messages explaining how much, or that it's better than it was before, and that the 50% off pro deal is a lot better than possibly winning a gift card every month. So thanks for the feedback. We're going to continue to try to get some more rewards for you guys out there on Patreon, and for my channel sponsors, thanks for everything, for continuing to help run the NFA Review channel. This video is 100% funded by my patrons on Patreon, so just want to give another thank you to you guys on that one. So let's go ahead, we'll get the box open, we'll see what makes it tick, and then we'll hit the range and see how it does. All right, looks like the Nomad 30 ships in a nice hard case. And then the bottom, we have the manual. Set that aside. And then of course we are going to be covering the Chemo, their Ebrake, and their other direct thread adapter. We'll go ahead and set this aside for now though to clean up this workspace. Let's check out what's in the box. Okay, that probably wasn't supposed to come off. Looks like it just slides right back down in there. Okay, no big deal. So first we'll take out the Nomad 30. It does ship with a 5/8 by 24 direct thread adapter, and then underneath the foam are your takedown spanner wrenches for the mount area. So let's set that aside. There's nothing else in this box. It is O-ring sealed, so that's pretty cool. So whether or not you turn it into a cigar storage box or a transport box for your Nomad, it sure beats another cardboard box. I broke the tab off again, so I'm gonna have to keep an eye on those. All right, starting off with the specifications. The Nomad comes in an overall length of 6.5 inches, a diameter of 1.735 inches, and a weight of 14 ounces. So a little bit wider than other cans out there at the 1.5 inch mark, so 1.735. A little fatter can, looks cool. The welds look really beautiful. We'll get to that in just a second. As far as the finish, it is a high temperature Cerakote, looks like a matte finish. No reflectivity really, it kind of absorbs the light pretty well. And the materials are 17.4 heat treated stainless steel, baffle stack, and the outer tube, because it is part of the stack itself. And then all your mounts, as far as the direct thread mounts and the end caps, are grade 5 titanium. So super lightweight while they can, super durable where it's needed. Now, as far as the firing schedule, it is full auto rated. It is rated up to 300 Win Mag with the Chemo mount attached. That's going to give that blast baffle a little bit extra space there. And there are no minimum barrel length requirements. So something that Dead Air's been doing for a while now. You can throw this on a 7.5 inch 5.56 AR-15 should you choose to do so, and it will withstand it, and if it doesn't, I'm sure it'll warranty it just fine. Matter of fact, if you take a look at the side of the suppressor body, you have the engraving of the model and the serial number on both sides of the blast area. Okay, so if anything happens here, as far as a baffle strike, it's most likely going to happen past the weld lines. This area here is where your muzzle is going to be set in the can, so very well protected area of the suppressor. In fact, the threads look like they don't terminate till right around here. So yeah, that's going to be good. If there is a failure, they'll be able to chop the can off and re-weld on another section. So wanted to note that as well. While we're on this part of the can, I actually do like this engraving they have here, I guess you can call it, machining, a better word for it. So I've noticed when I was screwing around with it off camera that it actually does give just enough grip, almost like a car tire, into a shooting glove or into your hand. And the size of the can is really substantial as well. It helps a lot in that area. So to recap, 300 Win Mag rated, full auto rating within normal parameters. I obviously wouldn't shoot full auto 300 Win Mag through it, but 5.56 should be just fine. And of course, no barrel length requirements. So all in all, the usual from Dead Air, very durable can. Now you're probably wondering where it meters as far as decibels. Now these numbers are from Dead Air. I do not know the ammunition they used or the barrel length, but I'm going to assume the barrel lengths in these tests were 16 inches. So for 5.56, it's coming in at an average of 134 decibels. 308 is 137 decibels, and 300 Blackout is 126 decibels. Now, something interesting they found is when they used the Ebrake, which we'll get to in a minute, okay? When they attached that to the front of the can, it dropped the decibels by an average of 2 decibels per host. So the Nomad 30 is well within the OSHA hearing safe threshold of 140 decibels on a multitude of different calibers and hosts. Now let's go ahead and cover the different mounting solutions. So this is where the Nomad kind of got its fame, the backwards compatibility with the Silencer Co. Hybrid mounts and the Silencer Co. Omega mounts. As far as the mount that it ships with, like I said earlier, it does ship with a 5/8 by 24 direct thread titanium mount that will be in a suppressor. And to remove it, you would use your spanners. And in the instruction manual, it explains exactly how to do it properly to loosen it safely and effectively without damaging the can or the finish on the can. Actually, while I have this off and before it's shot and all dirty, I'll give you some nice B-roll shots here of the inside of that beautiful baffle stack. But pretty self-explanatory to change the mounts. Over here we have a 1/2 by 28 for your 5.56 host. We'll leave that one in there for now. Let's find the Chemo. So the Chemo will allow the Nomad to be used with all of the Dead Air mounts. So all their flash hiders and all of their brakes. And I've said this once before, many times, Dead Air has probably the best quick detach mounting system out there, period. So much so, if you remember when I did the energetic armament Vox video, they were impressed so much with the mount, or with the mounting solution from Dead Air. The guys over at Energetic Armament went to Dead Air and said, hey, you guys pretty much nailed the mount. Do you mind if we just license it and use it for our product as well? So that's what they're doing. So the fact that they just were able to see that and not waste their time with anything else is pretty amazing, because the performance on the Vox is pretty impressive. So back to the mount. Once it's on, I don't want to screw with it too much right now. I want to be able to take this off in the studio, but we'll snug it up. Operates the same as the Sandman mounts. If you guys remember those old videos that I reviewed on my channel. On top, you'll see an indicator notch, and that corresponds with the top of your mounting device on your rifle. Insert it and turn the can on. It'll lock, and then to remove it, grab the can and just loosen it. So I'm not going to cover the mount too much and too in depth. That mount's been out for quite a while. Plenty of videos already explaining that. Direct thread, we know how that works. And let's move on to the Ebrake. So the Chemo, I think, retails for $249. The Ebrake, I believe, retails for $89. And this is just going to disperse a lot of that pressure around the front of the can and lower the decibels another 2 decibels. So it does ship like this, okay? So it ships open-ended with the takedown tool actually attached to the back of it, which I thought was kind of neat. So to install it, just take your spanners, put it flush with the front of the cap here, and remove your grade 5 titanium front cap. Now you can also use Sandman front caps as well. Remember, backwards compatibility is the name of the game here. Wow, that's super light. And then, sorry, fighting a cold here if you haven't been able to figure that out on your own, and my voice is pretty much almost gone. To install the Ebrake, just thread it on the front. Not rocket science here. Get that tight, and then you're going to want to put your front cap into the Ebrake. And that's what it looks like here. The finish doesn't look like a direct match. They must have used a different sheen. Maybe it's just a different lot. But the finish on the can is a little more of a matte finish. Let's go ahead and tighten it here real quick so it doesn't rattle. And that's all there is to it. Now you got the full chemo setup and the Ebrake on the end of the can. Now, something else you can do, I saw when I was reading the manual, is purchase different end caps, okay, to drop those decibels just a little bit more. So available, they have chemo, covered that. 5/8 by 24 titanium direct thread, have that. Half by 28, we have that as well. Excuse me. And then they have as far as front cap, 5.56, 6.5 Creedmoor, 7.62, which is included. And then a 5.56 flash hider version and a 7.62 flash hider version. I don't have those with me, but essentially it's a raised area portion here with 3 stubby prongs that helps mitigate those first couple shots of flash you get with an oxygen charged suppressor with the Nomad 30. So, like I said, versatility is the name of the game here, and Dead Air definitely nailed it. Now, word is on the street, this is a very low back pressure can, which you can pretty much gather that information yourself when you look at how far away the blast baffle is and how wide the can is. So this should not exhibit much port pop when shooting it on a semi-auto, so we'll definitely do that today to test that out. And I wanted to touch base again with these nice laser welds on the can. I'll get some close-ups here for you. Very, very clean, very good looking can in person, especially for the price point. I know it retails at $916, but Silencer Shop sells it for $745 plus, you know, whatever mounts you get. So I think with all the mounts we have here, we're looking at like $1,100 through Silencer Shop, because the chemo, that's like over $200. But $750 range on Silencer Shop for a product like this that you can basically modify how you want it for what host you're using it on. It's a pretty solid deal. You know, if this were 2005, this can would be freaking $1,800. So competition has definitely drove the price down, and we all benefited for it. So I'm gonna grab some host, pack up the truck, we're gonna hit the range, and let's go see just how it performs.
Got him. Wow. That's awesome. Steel?
Yeah.
First shot's fired today, guys. First shot's fired. I got 2 more. Oh, the other plate fell, see it?
Knock that one
I was like,
down.
what was that thud? One more. Alrighty then.
I get a little bit of pop over here when you're towards me, but that's it, man.
Yeah.
It's quiet. You look so good right now.
Is it recording?
Yeah, of course it is.
Damn. Woo!
Knock the dust off that plate.
Dude, I'm woke. How short is this, Kyle?
I was like 4.5, 5-inch barrel, something like that.
All right, so.
Yeah, you're good. I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay. Yeah. It's not that bad.
It's not that bad. Dude, he is slapping the shit out of that mount.
Dude, that's it's definitely not as bad as I thought it could be.
No.
That's a short barrel.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's 4 inches. I gotta look.
That's what she said.
Not to me though.
We good?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Really?
Flick it a switch.
Huh? It's tight. It's tight.
Yeah.
Woo! All right. Flick this switch.
I didn't hear anything.
No gas. No gas. That's nice. right, let's try that Ebrake. It's quieter.
It is.
For sure. Damn. All right, Ebrake it is. Shoot it like way over there too. I want to hear. Now over here. That sounds cool.
You and that damn steel.
I love that hiss, man.
Yeah.
All she wrote. Yes, sir.
All right, everyone, hope you enjoyed the video so far. Definitely performed a lot better than I thought it would. When I was doing research for the review, a lot of other content creators out there did mention the lower back pressure that they experienced on a semi-automatic, and that is definitely the case. The larger width of the can, the volume, definitely helped. When we were shooting the 5.56 on full auto, I didn't have any burning underneath my eye protection or in my nose. The gas was fine. As far as the 308, I mean, anytime you can shoot 308 suppressed with no ears in and not have any discomfort is a win. Again, we can attribute that to the lower back pressure. We didn't have any port pop coming out. As far as the 300 Blackout here, we decided at the end of the day, as you saw, to shoot it with the Ebrake on the end. And again, you know, an average of 2 decibel reduction is not apparent to many people. I've been doing this long enough to where I can kind of pick up on subtle changes in sound levels. It definitely lowered it a little bit. But overall, the suppressor itself has a very low tone to it. There's nothing high-pitched or tinny about it. It's very low, thuddy, has a really good bass sound to it. Tried it on Kyle's PDX, or Maxim. He has a 7.62 by 39 Maxim Defense setup, and I believe that was a 5-something barrel, 5 to 7 inches, somewhere in there. It's short barrel. And I was a little apprehensive about shooting it off the start because I wasn't wearing any ear protection. I wanted to give it, you know, give it the go, give it the beans, see what it could do. And it sounded really good, actually better than it should have sounded. It was throwing all the sound downrange. Again, no ejection port pop in my right ear. Sounded really good. So I don't know what else to say. I mean, usually I can ding a company. I'm trying to think of something that can be improved here. Actually, the only thing that I would improve is maybe the direct thread mounts. The area of the mount itself is the width of the takedown wrench. So if you don't have it just perfect, it can slip off, and it slipped on me a couple times out here while we were changing it back and forth when it was hot. So maybe just a little bit more material for that wrench to grab onto. That's about it. I mean, that's just nitpicky stuff. It was really nice to be able to use it on all this array of host out here today. So hope you guys enjoyed the review. Again, awesome product. The ammunition today, the 300 Blackout, was from Discreet Ballistics. Sounded really, really good. Everything else was just off-the-shelf ammo. Also, before I let you go, I mentioned the new Patreon setup at the beginning of today's video. A lot has changed. I filmed that studio scene 2 days ago. We're out here at the range today. In that time, I have changed the 200 patron goal. So on Patreon, I can set milestone goals. So my next milestone is at 200 patrons. We're gonna do a private, absolutely free shooting event for all my patrons, whether you're $1 a month to $100 a month, whatever, out here on my private shooting range that I'm filming at right now. It's a 30-acre range. We have a berm that's 15 feet tall by 360 feet wide. We can fit plenty of people out here. It'll be bring your own table, tent, guns, and ammo, little lunch. We'll spend all day out here, then maybe go out to eat as a huge group after. So I'm about 35 patrons short of that goal, so hopefully we can get that number up, and hopefully you guys can make use of the pro deals in the meantime. I know CGS Group has already sold a bunch of half-off suppressors. So thanks again for your time, guys. Stay tuned for the next video. Click that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.